Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, we've got a special bottle that I got from Dennis's Bourbon Meetup. Yes, I traded some bottles away. The last bottle that I got in this bag was trash. Filibuster, no good. Let's get it.
Bottle drop, bottle drop, bottle drop.
So hopefully we can make it through this whole episode without my mic dying and without the receiver dying, because I didn't have them on the charger. But I just got to let you guys know how I got this bottle. You know I am excited to get this bottle. Was I chasing disappointment? We will get into that on the channel. But first, let me give a shout out to Dennis for having that Bourbon Meetup, man, because I went from Dennis's Bourbon Meetup, shout out to Marco's Bourbon and Cigar Meetup later on that night. The wife was with me on the second go round, you know, so yes, I was keeping it cool. But anyway, I gotta give a shout out to Bowie, man. Bowie was there. Bowie, and I took my man Scott. Tanner was there too. Chris's guy from Bourbon Drop, one of his best friends. But Bowie was there. I wanted the Weller 107 for the Weller 12 that I had. There was a lot of Stag there. You guys know how I feel about Stag. So yes, I did pick up the Stag. I was trying to trade Bowie the, what is it? The, the copper and cast. Bowie, he liked the copper and cast, but you know, he almost wasn't willing to do the deal. But you know, I kind of sweetened the pot for the Stag with the Weller 12 and the Sweet Wheat, you know, so he was really looking for both of those. So, you know, he just kind of was like, you know what, man, since you really wanted, and because he had been looking out for me. As soon as I showed up, he was like, you got the 7 yet? He was like, look, I haven't even put it on the table. I'm telling you, I got one for you. I was like, oh, my man. But, you know, shout out to Earl, because he did some wheeling and dealing with Earl to get the Stag in order to get the Weller 12 and the Sweet Wheat, which also allowed me to get the Old Fitzgerald 7 year. I finally got a chance to meet Mike, the West Virginia bourbon guy, hung out with him in Plenty of Lives. Of course, the usuals was there. You see Virginia, she's hanging out right there beside me. Now, I have heard mixed reviews. Shout out to Tim Fishback. He wanted me to put this up against, not this, put the 9 year up against the 1924, because if you remember in the last video, I said this. I was wondering if you guys wanted to see a battle between these two. Also, maybe we could throw in a 3-way with the E.H. Taylor bottled in bond, or a 4-way and throw in the Old Forester 1924. Then, he was the only one that commented. So I told him I would do it. Somebody else said I probably wouldn't put the higher rye stuff up against the wheaters because it'll probably drink even softer, which is true sometimes, but a good bourbon is a good bourbon no matter what. But I did not offload the Michter's. I am holding out, man. I do want a like for like. I want a Michter's barrel strength bourbon for this Michter's barrel strength rye. Surprisingly, I knew Bowie wasn't gonna take the Penelope off my hands because he's a Penelope fan. He gets everything that Penelope releases. I still got to get around to the samples that he gave me. But tonight we are going to get into this bottle right here. This is the Old Fitz 7 year, the one that I have been chasing. This is spring of 2018. This one is the spring of 2016. Yes, we will get a blind on the channel tonight. I got to get you guys my thoughts on it because I cracked this thing at Marco's Bourbon Meetup. And I had my own thoughts. I actually put them side by side the next day because I wanted to see what happened. So, all right, let's get into the nose. You smell a little bit of that like fermented fruits on the nose, but it smells sweet, doesn't smell bad at all. Really no ethanol. There's just like this really nice fruity, like sweet fruity smell. Like I said, there's a fermented fruit, but there's also this sweet like fruity smell. And that's really all I'm getting out of the glass, man. All right, let's get into the palate. I like it on the palate. It's actually got a teeny touch of a clove note. Little prickliness, not super sharp notes, but just a slight hint of graininess is in there. Picking most of that up on the mid. The back really finishes with a lot of leather. Like I'm not getting any like char, super heavy char. Let's get back into the nose one more time before we get into the comparison. All right, so now I'm picking up a little bit of the like vanilla notes on the nose. Got to keep looking in the camera to see if my mic is lit up. Maybe like some orange zest. I'm picking up a little black pepper on the nose. Black pepper, orange zest, touch of caramel. Now I'm starting to pick up more ethanol. The ethanol has become more prevalent. Those like fermented fruits have gone away. It's not that sweet, fruity smell anymore. It's leaning more towards vanilla now. All right, back into the palate. That's very nice, very light, very easy to drink. That clove, that touch of clove on the mid is really nice. It's sweet. All right, it's starting to get a little spicy in the throat. No burn, like no burn. I do feel a little bit of the heat, but no burn. Like it's not burning in the throat. Still leather on the finish, but it's very simple, very nice, very easy to drink. All right, so give me a second to get the table set up. I'll go through the blind, then I'll tell you guys, well, you know what? I'll go through all of the ratings now. So is this bottle worth the chase? Was I chasing disappointment? No, I am not blown away. I don't think I was chasing disappointment. It is a cool bottle to have. I do love the fact that they tried to keep it like one notch below the decanter series. I mean, the neck is almost identical, except for this one has like a double ring. This one has a single ring. The corks are like, this is basically the wood version in a thinner, like this would be a McDonald's hamburger patty, and this would be like a double quarter pounder. So this is a little thinner than this one, but it is the wood version of it, and it does have the Old FITZ logo cut at the top, which I really do like. And then they gave you a mini version of the decanter on the top of the bottle. So, you know, I mean, it is a pretty bottle. I do like having this thing on my bar. I think it is very pretty. Is it worth the chase though? You know, I am very stingy this year. I'm gonna have to say no. Is it blowing? Is it knocking my socks off? No, but it is still a very enjoyable drink. Is it worth retail? I am gonna have to say yes. Now, the copper and cask I had was 50 bucks. I think this retails for 60, you know, so, but I did up the ante when I gave him the Sweet Wheat and the Weller 12, which both of those I paid SRP for. So, you know, I know how much I normally would pay for a Stag. Yes, oh, I didn't mention that's a 24C, which is a favorite of mine. I don't think it was better than 24B, 22A, all-time favorite. But anyway, yes, I do think it is worth retail at 60 bucks. One nice, simple, easy to drink, pour. Who is it for? I am gonna have to say that I would still keep this one for intermediate to experienced bourbon drinkers. I think I'll keep it in that range. I don't think I'd give this to a new bourbon drinker. Yes, it was light, nice, sweet. Somebody like me who likes proof, I find this very easy to drink. Someone who is still sticking around, you know, the 80 to 90 proof stuff is probably gonna find this maybe a little peppery. It was very soft, but those spices did ramp up towards the end. I did feel like that heat, that warmth, you know, down the center of the chest, but it wasn't burning at all. I still would try and give it to a new bourbon drinker, but I still think it's geared more towards the intermediate to experienced bourbon drinkers. Will it always be on the bar? Checking the mic again. Yes, I do like this enough that I think it will always be on the bar. The Heaven Hill 7, which is the sister bottle over there, I keep that one on the bar, and then I go back and forth because the first one I got was so enjoyable. Then I got another one that was kind of like okay. Then I got another one that I found enjoyable. I pick up clove notes in both, but I do like this enough to always keep a bottle of it on the bar. All right. Give me a little bit of time. I'm gonna clear the table. We are gonna get into the blind. And yes, I probably still will do the blind with the other bourbons that I talked about before. I might kick the McKenna out and just put this in and this back in, and then we'll see how it turns out again. All right, I have them poured up. I had to turn the logos inward. That way, no matter how they stop, I don't know which is which, because at first I had them facing out and I did not like how that looked because I could still tell which was which. So we're gonna spin these things. This is the 2016 9-year. This is the 2018 7-year, both of them from the spring edition. So let's see where they fall and let's get it. All right, so they are back facing each other. The logos are facing each other, so I don't know which one is which. As far as color goes, they look pretty much identical. Like, yeah, I'm holding them up into the lights. So yeah, they look pretty much identical. Don't know. So this is gonna be a tough one, man, because if I paid 130 bucks for a bottle that is 2 years older and gets beaten out by a 7-year bottle that sits on the shelf, well, supposedly sits on the shelf for 60 bucks. I might be a little pissed. I might be a little pissed. I have, as you can see, I do enjoy both. All right, so let's get this wheel out of the way. All right, so first up, the one on my right, nose. Fruity, sweet. No oak though, no oak at all. And I think I said the same thing when I did the 9 years, that I wasn't picking up any oak, and then I tasted it and then I think I got a light oak. All right, they are very similar on the nose. Even though I just did the review, I know I told you guys like a sweet fruity note. Both of these, I am picking up like, I don't know why, this is in my mind. I've been picking this up lately on bourbons, but I've been picking up like a light cherry note. Like there's a very light cherry note in both. The one on my left is a little oakier on the nose. All right. Just a slight touch oakier on the nose. All right, let's go back into the one on my right. Yeah, like this one is not as oaky. This one is giving a little more like vanilla / caramel on the nose. All right, so nosing both of these, I would say that the one on my left is a touch oakier. The one on my right is a touch sweeter and lighter. All right, let's get into the palate. So going with the one on my right first. I like that. I like that. That's very nice, very light. Oh, if that's the 7, I really didn't pick. I didn't get the transfer of like that vanilla note over to the palate. So if that's the 7, that's a new note that I'm getting as it's sitting. Now this bottle has, well, the 7 has only been open for 3 days. Yeah. So all right. Checking the mic again. Yeah, gotta check the mic, man. These things have only been charging for like 15 minutes, so I don't want it to, go out and then I'm giving you the camera's mic. That thing is horrible. All right, let's go to the glass on my left, your right. Oh, that's very nice. Very light, easy to drink too. That one, and I am picking up like a little bit of like almost graham cracker and caramel. A little bit of spice now in the throat. Now the 7 I just got finished reviewing didn't give me spice until the 2nd sip. But now that I'd be on the 3rd sip, if this is the 7, I'd still be picking up a little bit of spice. All right, so I know sometimes I clean and it can weaken them out. I don't like to clean in between. Let me clean, give them both a fresh slate. Check the mic. All right. All right. We are going to go backwards. Yeah, see, I'm picking up a little more oak. And if I'm picking up a little more oak, that would make me think that this is the 9. But in blinds, once you start telling yourself stuff, then you start believing it, and then you wind up being wrong. So picking up a little more oak, I am thinking that this is the 9. I am not 100% sure. That note, well, I was about to say didn't transfer over to the palate, but hold on, let's see. No, it did transfer. It's there. But this one is giving me a little more caramel. But that one gave me like a vanilla note too. Like that vanilla, like in between that vanilla caramel. But this one is a little, yeah. So This one is giving me more of the black pepper slash char on the finish and a little more oak on the nose. And I would venture to say that that oak transfers over into the palate. Not super heavy, but enough to let me know that it's there. So I am gonna go back to this one and see what happens. See, now that one is drinking a little lighter, doesn't come off as flavorful. A touch of that oak presence shows up, but it shows up more, which I did not get by itself. Unless it's just lingering from this glass. But that oak presence is starting, like I said, to show up more in this one with a little bit of, I didn't pick up any char on the back of the 7-year. I'm gonna have to go backwards again because like this one now isn't drinking as good as it was on the first go round. All right. A little bit of spice in the throat. Nothing to complain about. No heat, no burn. The vanilla's still there. It is not, after coming off of this one, it is not giving me what I had at first. All right, let's go back to this one. The one, hold up. A light nuttiness just showed up. I don't think I got that in the review video either. Oaky, light nuttiness, some char. This one I would have to say, even though they are both easy to drink, this one on my left, your right, is the one that I am going to say is the winner. I believe it's a little more interesting. It's good. It's a little more interesting. Surprisingly, I didn't pick up any like clove notes throughout. Like I just got finished with the 7, not picking up any clove. But surprisingly, this one on my left, your right, is like it's just a touch more interesting. It's got a little more going on, where this one kind of fell flat after coming off of, I guess you won't want to call this glass B. All right, so it is time to pick a winner. I am going to have to put this one to the front, this one to the back. So the one on my right taking second place is going to be glass 7, the 7-year. So this is the Old FITZ 7-year. Of course, this has got to be the Old FITZ 9-year. So is it better? Yes, I find it a little more interesting. I'll put that beside the winner. I find it a little more interesting than the 7-year. However, I don't think the 7-year is bad. I enjoy this pour here. Is it $70 better than the 7? I'm really gonna have to say no. That is, it's not devastating, but with this thing being $60, and honestly, you could probably get away with selling it for $45, $50. I don't think this should be more than $75. Just giving my honest opinion. And I'm a fan of Heaven Hill, so there is no hate. There's like no Buffalo Trace hate. I am not hating on this bottle at all. I think it is great for, you know, for what it is, 100 proofer. I just think it might get blown out of the water by some other things like 1924. That 1924, like I said, shout out to Tim Fishback for commenting that he wanted to see that. That 1924 drinks great on its own. Fell a little flat in the battle that I did, but it's got like these older, richer notes where these two don't come off as super rich, but you know how it is. Blinds can change everything. With that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you head it to a drop. Till next time.